Rashida and Dee. Thank you, thank you. We are excited to be with you all this morning. I am, as she said, Joyce Chesley Hayward with Fusion 4, the number for business in both US and Bermuda. And we're going to use the chat, so make sure you're using the chat. There's going to be time for Q&A at the end, so please, 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 if you have questions, put them in the chat. We are monitoring the chat, and there will be time we're going to have for panel discussion and open discussion and your questions. So as was mentioned, I'm a CPA with all those years of experience, as you can see with the gray hair. And I have found that in my time in working with businesses, had a business in the States for 10 years, in Bermuda now for about 5 or 6 years, that many businesses aren't profitable. Their businesses just aren't serving them as they should or as they need to. And so I've become a profitability expert because I've needed to help people, because I've seen so many mistakes. Actually, I'll say business horror stories, unfortunately. So I've had clients come to me that are just about to throw in the towel, give up their business because they did not do the things that needed to be done to help them stay in business. So we're going to be talking today, men, I know there's some guys here too, men, women, in business, side hustle, about to go into business. Please keep your mind, keep your eyes open, your ears open, whatever's in your mind, put it in the chat for your questions, because these are some principles that I have found help persons, and that all of us, Dee, Rashida, Janisha, Tasha, myself, we're going to give you. And I have found that with good planning and with the good business things in mind, that you can make it. One of the C's that I'm talking about today is consistency. I believe we should be grounded first in good and solid principles. And so I'm coming from Galatians 6:9 that says, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we don't give up. And we all want to reap, right? We did earlier as we were leveling up. We want to reap, we want to reap, we want to reap. And we reap with consistency. We want to grow from the milk to the meat by being consistent. Because if we are consistent, we will reap. We will benefit in our businesses and our clients, in our lives. And like I said, I've had too many clients that I've seen not be consistent and give up, getting weary and well doing. But we've all heard, I'm sure, that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I've seen more than one client start something and give up before they've even seen the results or had any good information to tell whether it worked or not, whether they should stick with it or not. I want you to put in the chat, how many of you, put a one in the chat if any of you had a New Year's resolution this year, that there was something you were going to do consistently this year. So at January 1 or December 31 or somewhere in January, you started out saying, I'm going to do this or that. Okay, I see the ones in the chat. That's right. Yes. Now, how many of you are not doing, put a 6 in the chat if you are not doing something that you said you were going to do from January. You know, we're human. It happens. I see the 6s. Yes. Because we all fall short. We're human. But this is what we want to talk about, being consistent. Because there's a quote that says, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. Because you can do a lot of things with your life if you are doing the right things with your money. And being in business for yourself, whether in the States where there's tax deductions or in Bermuda where we don't have the same tax structure, but being in business for yourself is the key to living your life like a lot of people can't. So if we want to be profitable in our businesses, we want to be successful in our businesses, we have to do things consistently to make that happen. So there are a couple of additional C's that I'm going to talk about that relate to consistency. The first is clarity. The first C is clarity, knowing where you are and where you want to go. Know where you are in your business. Tasha already talked about knowing your numbers. Know where you're starting from and then where you want to go. I work with clients that when I start with them, they don't have numbers. They don't have financial statements. They come with a shoebox. That's how I started my business, because I was a banker and businesses came to me that I will say some of the businesses, and I'll just say the Caucasian businesses came to me. They were all set up. They had their stuff together. The minority businesses, the underserved, the Black, the women's businesses came to me. They didn't know what they wanted, how they wanted to do it. They came to me with the shoebox. Now I started my business because I saw so many people with a shoebox with great ideas, but didn't know how to make it happen. They needed clarity. So Some of them were mixing their business and their personal money. Now, even if you have a side hustle, I'm asking you right now, stop mixing your business and your personal. Be clear with what is business and what is personal. So stop mixing it together. If you are looking to be in business, have a separate set of business banking numbers, a separate bank account if possible, but at least keep track of your transactions, your business separate from your personal. The other thing with clarity is know where you want to go. Be clear with a goal. Have a goal. If you know that you want to make a certain amount by September, then do that. Without a vision, the people perish. You have to be clear with a goal. Know how much that you need to make in this business. Otherwise, it's a hobby. If you're not making any money with your business, you're in a hobby. You're a nonprofit. If you're looking to have this business be your main thing and make it your main thing, then you need to be profitable. You want to live sometime like others won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like others can't. The other thing with clarity is if you don't know how to handle the numbers, or if you don't have the time to handle the numbers, if you don't have the time to, Tasha already mentioned about having a lawyer, having a banker, having an accountant, let the professionals do what they do best so you can do what you do best. You need that clarity. Let them do what they do so you can do what you do. The second C of being consistent is being committed to do what you need to do. Now, I'm going to ask you, how many of you all have ever had a tube of toothpaste in your house where you were down to the last little bit of toothpaste in that tube? Put a one in the chat if you've ever had a toothpaste, you didn't have any more toothpaste in the house, and you had a toothpaste tube and you squeezed. I used to use the word, Mommy, I squoze that toothpaste tube till I got all that toothpaste out. Put that one in the chat. That's right. If you have ever done that, you squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed until you got that last little bit out. Actually, put a 5 in the chat. 1, yep, I see the ones that you've had that toothpaste tube, and 5 if you've squoze and squoze and squoze it to get out that last little bit. We worked with what we had, right? We worked with what we had. A lot of times we don't do that in our businesses. We're not committed. It's called the Parkinson's principle. We use what we have. If you have a lot of toothpaste, you're going to put a whole lot of toothpaste on the tube. If you have a little bit of toothpaste, you'll use what you have. Millionaires use what they have. They don't waste. They are efficient and they operate with lean machines in their business. They use every dollar efficiently. So I want us to be committed to use every dollar efficiently. I want us to, as part of being committed, to do first things first, putting aside the tithe. You got to put aside 10% that belongs to God. That has to go. For every dollar you make, 10% needs to go to God. Then you need to commit to putting some percentage aside for your profit. And that's where having professionals come in. You need to look at, let's say it's going to be 5% that you're going to set aside for profit. So if it's 5%, you put 5% aside, and then 5% to pay yourself. So 10 for tithe, 10% for the tithe, 5% for the profit, and 5% for yourself. So being committed, if you have $100, you're going to put $10 away for the tithe, $5 away for the profit, $5 away for your salary. You work with the $80. You don't look at, I got $100. You look at, I'm working with the 80. Be committed that you're going to be consistent with using your funds in the way they should be. So those are the 2 C's I'm saying that I want you to think about, with the C's under consistency: being clear, being committed. Stick to it to make sure you are doing everything you need to do so that you can live now saying, Pookie, I'm sorry I can't come to the birthday party because I'm doing what I got to do. I'm committed. I'm going to call. I'm going to still take my time and spend my time with my family like I need to, but you're going to be clear and you're going to be committed so that you can be consistent. With all of that, I want you to make sure you are being consistent. Les Brown said to us the other night in a masterclass, the 3 Ds of being consistent, being committed, dedicated, determined, and have the drive. Believe in yourself. I believe that you should also use the acronym BEST, B-E-S-T. Believe in yourself, the B. Educate yourself is the E. Stick to it, that's the consistency, is the S. Have a team and a tribe around you as the T. So be committed, be consistent, be clear, believe in yourself, and do what you got to do. so that you can be the best you can be in business. This is what we want to do to make sure you have the 5 C's of business success.